here with Mac Danzig, just finishing up a seminar here at Island MMA. Thoughts on being in Victoria?
I love Victoria. Like I was saying before, I really like it up here. I've been to Canada 5 or 6 times before, but it's all been in different cities. Edmonton a few times, Calgary, London, Ontario. Been around, but this is my first time over here on the West Coast, and I really like it. Like I was saying, the only thing that I don't really like is the amount of rain that you guys get. But other than that, it's great. I love the people up here. The town is really cool. It's just refreshing to be around a bunch of down-to-earth people and around a gym like this where everybody's enthusiastic and everybody wants to learn. It's really refreshing.
You taught a lot of interesting techniques today. I've been to a lot of seminars. Just because you're a good fighter doesn't necessarily mean you're a good teacher. But you explained yourself very well. Is it something that you practice and something that you intend on keep on doing?
Yeah, definitely. I like teaching. It's something I pride myself on is being a competent teacher. In addition to being a fighter, I think it's important to be able to teach students. And if any of these fighters out there want to have a career after fighting, they should probably learn how to teach because that's pretty much the only thing that's left for you after you've been training for this long and fighting for this long. And I really like to see people learn. It makes me happy watching all these guys that are at the gym here, and they're, like I said, they're enthusiastic about learning, and it makes me happy to see them learn techniques that they can actually use and better themselves. A lot of fighters are kind of self-centered and maybe they don't think about the teaching aspect too much, but I really enjoy teaching, and I like to see people learn. And everybody that showed up today was eager to learn, so that's all you can ask for.
Tell us about the Ultimate Fighter TV show. That's obviously how you got your big break in mixed martial arts, other than your fight with Hayato Sakurai in Pride. We don't get to see everything on TV. Was there anything that happened behind the scenes? Any injuries? Any smack talk? Any ultimate fighting behind the scenes that you want to talk about?
There were a lot of things that happened that they didn't show. It's kind of hard for me to say because, to be honest with you, I've suppressed most of that entire thing in my memory. That's 6 weeks. I've tried my best to suppress it the way that somebody that has gone through a traumatic experience would, but yeah, I mean, one thing that they didn't show that I could mention is probably that I had a really bad knee injury after my first fight with Joey Scarola, right before my second fight with John Colossi. I had a pretty bad knee injury, and it was my future in the show was actually in question. I mean, I was already there long enough that I was going to stay on the show, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep competing, and my knee was bothering me so bad I couldn't even jog on it. So they took me in and got a cortisone shot. And obviously, a cortisone shot does it numbs everything up. It's not good to keep getting those, but it was necessary in order for me to deal with the pain, and I got that done and was able to keep going in it. And a lot of things one of the things that they don't show is my relationship with some of the other guys on the show, especially the few of the guys that were on the team with me. A lot of those guys I was really good friends with, but they didn't really show that. They just focused on like the negative aspect of it because, let's face it, I mean, it was miserable being there, and that's how I reacted to it. Some of those other guys reacted to it by drinking and goofing off, and that was their way of dealing with it. But I had a different agenda. I wanted to win. So when I was surrounded by a bunch of people that I really didn't like, my grumpy side came out or whatever. But it's all good, and I just wish they would have showed all the good times that me and some of the other guys on the team had, because we were really good friends. But a lot of time was spent joking on and making fun of the coaching staff, to be honest with you, in a good way. Coach Fiore and Matt, Matt Hughes, we like those guys, but we spent a lot of time doing some really good impersonations and some really good jokes on those guys, and they didn't show any of it. And J-Rock and Blake were really good at that, and I was looking forward to that. I thought it was going to be really funny, but they didn't show any of that. I don't know why.
Were you happy with the coach that you were teamed up with on the show?
To be honest with you, it didn't really matter to me either way. I knew Matt Serra and Matt Hughes were both good coaches in their own right, and at the same time, neither one of those guys were anybody that I would seek out specifically on my own to train with. You know what I mean? Like, I would not mind training with either one of them, but if I could pick any coaches, I wouldn't think of those two. Wouldn't be in like my top 10. You know what I mean? I think both of those guys, especially Hughes, are better fighters than they are coaches. But at the same time, they're still really good. They're still really good coaches, and I mean, it didn't really matter to me. I was happy that I got on Hughes' team, but I could have been just as happy on Matt Serra's team. They're two completely different people, but at the same time, I think they're both decent, hardworking coaches, and I feel like I would have succeeded either way.